Hey, Colorado Springs, I'm Craig Terrassa, a licensed real estate agent and the team lead for the A-Team agents at Pink Realty. And this is
Jessica Halling, and I'm his assistant and agent in training.
Yeah, so today we're actually going to talk to you about the pre-qualifications for our rent-to-own program. So what's the first thing that we always get asked every time?
First thing is credit score. Second thing is pets.
That's right. Yeah, second thing is almost always pets.
Yes.
So credit score, the minimum you need is a 580, but that's an average. So what they mean is, if I usually use an example. When one household member has, say, 600, 680, 700, something like that, and the other one is like, they're 540, 560, something like that. They'll kind of average those out, and so that kind of helps bring the other person up, and then you can usually qualify.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about pets. What about pets? What are the restrictions?
You can have pets. You can have up to 3 pets, but all your pets cannot weigh more than over 180 pounds.
And that's total, right? Not each. That's total poundage, right? Yeah. Okay, and then there's certain breeds that you can't have, like Dobermans, Rottweilers, Mastiffs, and I think
Pit bulls.
Pit bulls, yeah. So those are breeds that are not allowed. Well, what's kind of like, I like to call it the get out of jail free card.
You can have either a service animal paperwork or
or like an emotional support animal.
Right, an emotional support animal.
Yeah, and we like to say, don't go to one of those online deals where you pay $50 and you get this certification. It's actually got to be from a medical professional.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Next big one is probably income.
Probably, yeah.
So $65,000 or more per year.
Right.
And that's here in Colorado Springs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's some other places around the nation where it's a little bit lower. But what we found is if you get qualified below that, it's just basically impossible. I mean, we could probably do it at some point, but it's really hard to find you something that's going to qualify.
Right.
Yeah. So what else?
Repos, collections, charge-offs, past due accounts. Except with repos, they allow it up to the last 6 months.
Yeah, so if you've had a repo, a car, boat, Harley, something like that, if it's been repossessed, then, if it's only 6 months old and you've got it taken care of and whatever, and all your other qualifications are good, then, it shouldn't count against you.
Right.
Evictions. If you've been evicted in the past 3 years, this can dig. But, if you have something from when you were a kid in your 20s or, several years ago, isolated incident kind of thing, then you're probably going to be okay.
Right.
Now let's talk about this one. This one is... I kind of chuckle every time I ask people because I feel weird asking it.
Yes.
But if you're on the OFAC sanctions list, now if you don't know what that is, don't sweat it because you're probably not on it. But it's for like specially designated nationals, sex offenders, sexual predators, things like that. So those are the kind of people that'll be on that list. And so if you don't know, you're probably not on that list.
Yes.
Oh, and we were talking about collections and charge-offs. What's the exception to the rule to that one?
Medical bills and student loans.
Yeah. So, if you owe like $100,000 and you've never paid on it, we're not really talking about that. But if it's $1,000 or so, then that's really, specifically for student loans and medical bills, that's really not going to count against you.
Right.
Yeah. And what else?
Felonies and being on parole in the last 6 years.
6 years, last 6 years. So, kind of the rule, like I've had a few that where they were really close. It was just within, it was almost 6 years old. So some hard no's is if it's violence or drug related, you can just count those out. They're not going to even accept that. But if you have something that it's a little bit older and it's you're 5 months 5 years and 9 months, you're really close, then we can have a conversation that might be able to get pushed through. Except for the violence and drugs. Those are hard no's for sure. And then what's the final one?
You have to have 2 months deposit.
So kind of how that works is, we get you qualified, right? We go find a house, and then once the house is under contract with their home partners, they'll send you the lease agreement, okay? Right. And that's when the 2 months deposit is due right then. Now, it's about 5 to 6 weeks before you get your keys, but then you're going to owe rent again for that new month. So, it's a whole month out. So usually you have time to get that third, basically almost like a third deposit, but it's your first month's rent until you move in. So if it's on the 15th, they'll prorate it half a month and all that good stuff. Yeah. So if you would like to start on the path to home ownership, we'd love to help you out. You can call Jessica here or myself, and have a great day, Colorado Springs.
Bye.
Bye-bye.